Good week of preparation. Getting ready to head up to East Lansing here in a few hours, and excited for the opportunity this presents. Getting back into Big Ten play is a huge part of what we live for here and what we want to be in, and a great environment we're going to be playing in. They'll have a great loud crowd, and just talked about that with our guys, what that means, and expect our guys to elevate their level of play, their focus, and their execution, and be at their very best. So excited about where we are, and anxious to get on the road together as a team and continue to build this program. Questions?
As far as Michael, has he thrown in practices?
Yeah, and so we'll see. We're going to make that decision. It'll be announced at kickoff, but just continue to progress, and we'll see where we're at. Don't know everything for sure yet, but we'll continue to evaluate after get everything done today and meet with everybody that's involved and make a decision.
Has he been more active this week in the past week?
It's been building, yes. Yeah, it's been building for sure. So it's been progressing ever since it initially happened, and then just continue to, get him ready. And then Peyton's had a great week too. He continues to command the offense and throw with a lot of accuracy and do a great job. So.
Have the reps been split? Have they been 50-50 or?
Yeah, we're in the mode of being able to balance that out. So yeah, just like we normally would do. So it's been both guys getting equal reps.
Michigan State, obviously a team that's done very well against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana this year that's not been their forte so far. Better in the last game, obviously. What can you guys do to make that better against a team that does so well against it?
Yeah, I just think that bottom line is there's different ways to create those, and you got to be able to, at times just run, your base run plays and get the yards that way. And there's other ways you got to create uniqueness to what you do and the way you present those packages, and both trying to create the run fits by things that you do on your, from a structural perspective offensively, and both at tempo at times and as well as, getting the ball where it needs to go. So, yeah, I just think we just got to, find a way to get to where we want them to respect our run game. So they have to honor that, and then everything comes off of that.
I know you got David Ellis out of Michigan, and you've probably gotten a few players too over the years. Is this kind of a good chance to kind of showcase yourself in that state, and how do you feel like it is as a recruiting state?
Well, it's just like anything else, in the past, we've had so many guys from Ohio here, and so the Ohio State game was such a big deal for that very reason. And then I think, we've actually started more going into Michigan here in the last couple of years, and got some guys on our team from there and more guys that will be joining us here next year. So I think there's no question, you get a chance to go into a young man's home state and be able to do, kind of show why he came here. That's what he wants to do, and bottom line is that sometimes those are, different motivations for guys, based on who recruited him and who didn't, and they know that. And so I just think that it's always good to go into an area where you want to recruit and have recruited and are wanting to recruit further in the future. I think that always helps you because they get a chance to know, hey, I can, they're going to come here and play close to home and get a chance for my whole family to come watch me.
You mentioned Coy might need to have some kind of procedure. Kind of where is he in terms of being able to get through whatever he needs to get?
Yeah, he's going to have surgery tomorrow. So that'll be swelling had to go down a little bit, and we was going to do it a few days ago, but they need to get to that point. So he'll be, messaged him yesterday back and forth, and just kind of stay in constant contact with him and his family, and just prayers for him. So he has that tomorrow, and then he'll start the road to recovery.
And I guess as you've evaluated that left tackle spot, do you know kind of what you want to do with it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of been consistent in regards to, with Devondre and Matt Bedford and Caleb being able to be flexible, and with Aiden Rafferty as being a next in kind of guy. So those three guys are going to be manning that spot, and then we can have the ability to move Caleb, because Caleb can play either side, and then I think that Devondre can also play right or left as well. So it gives us some flexibility with that. But that's going to be the combination that we use.
Michigan State games inherently have been low-scoring games. How big of a game for your defense is this going to be? Yeah, I mean, that's, we've preached it all week long, the ability for us to stop the run game, and prevent those big pass plays that they've been creating, off of that, and, being able to play a four-quarter game, all three phases. Field position has always played a big role in this game. Just special teams, the role that they play in this game has been huge, and so that will continue to be the case. And so anytime you get a, big road game, that's going to be, those are the variables, So I think our defense has to,
step up to the challenge, and play, above their age and a lot of those guys, but that's how you grow. This is where you want these moments. We just got done talking about that, and the weeks when you have the crowd noise pumped in, I mean, that gets me pumped up because I know what that means. I know where we're going. I know what's at stake. I know the environment we're going to be in, and I love those environments, and I want our guys to learn to feed off of that.
You mentioned in your radio show kind of your respect level for Mark D'Antonio. What about his program particularly kind of sticks out to you in terms of
the consistency, the toughness, just I think when you always want to be able to say, hey, you put the film on and say, hey, what's this coach's team going to look like? How are they going to play? And he's done that for such a long time there and has consistently won. These are all-time winningest coach, there, which is a tremendous, thing for him to accomplish. And I know a lot of people have made that possible, and he would be the first one to say that. But just, you just respect the product that they put. This is who they are, and just the cultural, things that they have. And they've been there a long time, And so when you talk about what do you want to build, and he's a defensive guy, those things just jump out to me in the way that they play defense and the way that they're able to, recruit to their, to their fit, that kind of player that fits their culture. And that's what I want here, So that's why you're just trying to, you have respect for those guys, and he's one of those.
Coach, you mentioned that you said in the quarterbacks meetings, almost all of them. But what kind of changes have you noticed in the way that Kalen runs those meetings versus the way that Nick did last year?
Just everybody's personality is a little different. I do think it when you're the one calling the plays, I think there is a difference, with that, and just from being in both settings, and so it wasn't in there near as much obviously before. Very very seldom was I able to be in there. So in all fairness to both situations, but I just do know, from being in that situation myself, when I was coaching linebackers and calling the defenses at the same time, just being in the same room with the person that's, devising everything and calling the things and calling the plays. And so I just think that helps them get the big picture of what we're doing and the whys sometimes behind each concept and what we're trying to accomplish. So, I mean, there's obviously, everybody has their own way of doing it. Some coordinators are coaching positions, some just are walk-arounds, and we've been seeing it successful both ways. But I just think for, and even when Kalen came here, we had those discussions about, because he could coach, he's coached multiple positions. He could have coached the tight ends and called it, from there and had Nick stay at quarterbacks, and we had that discussion. But he really felt strongly that he wanted to be in that room, and I understand why. And I want to get him in the area that he wanted to be in, and then we moved Nick to tight ends, and Nick's done a phenomenal job with the tight ends. So it's just, but I do think that has helped the growth of our quarterbacks and their knowledge of what we're doing.
So kind of circling back to Nat Bedford in particular, Ridley, Devondre, Caleb, experienced guys who, none of this will be terribly new for. What's been different maybe about Nat this week as he recognizes that, hey, I always want to prepare to play, but I don't have that four-year starter in front of me that
Sure.
maybe felt a little like a security.
Well, I think that, he and I have talked, and I think that, there's a major difference when okay, now I know I'm playing. Because before we were trying to balance this whole thing with when's he ready, when do we put him in, when do you do you save it, do you use 4 games, do you just pull it and go, and all those kind of different conversations. Well, now that's all gone, and so now that once we knew Coy's status, and so now it's just, hey, I'm preparing to go play. So I just think a heightened sense of attention to detail, for him, and I think that's natural. I think it causes that, and I think that you can try and you kind of simulating it before, almost the artificial sense of urgency when you really weren't sure if you were going to play him or not, but now it's there. So I just think he's had a really good week, and there's no doubt there's going to be some growing pains, and even with Devondre, he hasn't played a ton of reps for us. So whoever's in there is going to be, a guy that's going to have to be learning, on the run in some ways and in a very tough environment. So either way, they got to step up, and whoever steps on that field has to execute, and the guys around him, trust is our word for this week, and has a lot of great implications in a lot of different ways, and probably couldn't be a better week for that, for what we're trying to do on offensive line, defensive line, and what we got to do to go in this environment is to trust each other, trust our preparation, and trust the guys around us.
How's the communication been between the offensive linemen, or how's the cohesion?
It's been good. I mean, obviously the older guys, and I met with, with them as well, and just talking about, hey, this is time for you to elevate. Everybody's got to elevate. When you lose a guy like Coy, that makes a big, it's a big void to fill. There's no doubt about it. And so, but then it causes other upperclassmen on that line. Simon's got to step up, Hunter's got to step up, and even a guy like Caleb, even though he's not, a veteran of many years, he's his first year starting, but he's played several games and he's been around here. It's his third year being here, and so him to help those younger guys too, because that's part of it. That's how you build a program, is the older guys help the younger guys, and this is where they have to, even on this really our first road game. The Indianapolis trip was a short trip, and it was pretty familiar, even though we hadn't played in that venue since I've been here. But this is a true Big Ten road game. So those guys, those seniors up front, got to elevate, and communication is going to be an all-time priority.
Even if Michael's able to go, was there any thoughts to using 2 quarterbacks this week?
Oh, I think it all depends. There was some in terms of just, how much does, if he does play, how much do you want to get him in there and different things. So I think it was just wait and see to see how he feels and how he's able to handle all that. So bottom line is we got 2 that we trust. We do. And then obviously Peyton's been in this environment, before and has played there, the last time we had our chances. We were right there in the end of the fourth quarter. So I just feel like that a lot of confidence in either one. So I feel good about that, and that's a real positive thing. We've not always had that situation. So I just think that whoever's ready to go is going to go, and I think they'll do a great job.
All right.